Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Lebogang, but you'll get to simply know me as Elle of this very channel called ThroughEllesEyes. So let's start with the formalities. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back, and I hope that you enjoyed this particular video. And if you are new on these very streets, I'd like to give you a warm welcome, and I hope that you're here to stay. You can subscribe to ThroughEllesEyes and go a step further by clicking on that bell icon so that you can get notifications of future videos that come through specifically for you on this particular space. Now, this video is aptly titled Disappear Sis and Come Back Stronger. So I think one thing that people who subscribed to this channel will realize is that I really love quotes, quotable quotes, and I really love aligning them to life's experiences and things that have happened really in my life, or just experiences in general, because it's so easy to share quotes, but identifying exactly and pinpointing why it really resonated with you might be a bit of an issue, maybe for some people. But this particular quote I saw on House of Dimitri on Instagram, and they describe themselves as a page that inspires baddies in these digital streets, right? And I saw it when I was going through a period where I was really just trying to fizzle out or step away from certain instances or situations that have happened, just to carefully understand why were they happening and why did things play out the way that they did. So in my previous video, so this particular video is the second video in 2021, but my first video I mentioned a little bit of how I would create a video talking more or going in depth about certain experiences and instances that really made me almost fall out of love with the idea of content creation. And in this particular instance, I really just want to create a link between disappearing and coming back stronger and those particular experiences that took place in my life, right? So I got married in 2018, late 2018, which was amazing. It still is. So before I started my channel in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I started my channel in 2017 and it was great. I mean, I was living at home with my folks, and it was an outlet for me to really just sit down and chat to people who really thought I had something to say, something valuable to say, and I connected with so many people on so many levels, and I really enjoyed that, and I still do, right? So and then I transitioned from living at home with my folks to living or being welcomed in my husband's home as makoti in late 2018. And in 2019 I only created a few videos, but that was also you could say influenced, rather. Yes, influence is the word that I'm looking for, by the setting that I was in. Because yes, when I was at home, my parents really understood, because I spoke to them, and not in depth, just high level of, this is what I'm looking to do, and it requires me to be in a spot where it's fairly quiet, because background noise is not okay in terms of the quality of videos that I would ultimately like to create and share with people, and also just taking the lead from other content creators, right? And they were understanding. I mean, my parents are fairly old, and it's not like the house would be quite noisy, and if I needed time to be in front of the camera, my little sister would then take care of my little one, and it just worked out quite well. Fast forward to 2019, coming in as makoti and trying to adjust to the life of communal living with more people who really didn't understand the craft, because I would ask for space and be like, okay, can I please have a little bit of noise turned down? Yes, we had our privacy, we had our own dedicated space where my husband and I were, but also you're still in the house and living with people who really didn't understand, and we were coming together, people of different backgrounds. I mean, I come from a different background, and personalities are different. So every time I would find an opportune time, or what I believed was an opportune time to create videos, then there would be somebody who would either be washing dishes or moving around in the house, and that created like a bit of a rattle or a noise in the background, and I would be so demotivated because I was like, whew, but I did ask for a bit of time, and I suppose it's not working out. So the more and more it happened, the more I felt like, whew, really isn't going to work out, and I just didn't create content as much as I thought I would. And even though eventually we moved into our own space, it just took a little bit of time for me to get back into that space, and it just didn't feel good, right? And so the time away from creating videos just gave me an opportunity to sit down and realize just how much external influences made me fall out of love or really want to create content as much as I did before. But so this technique of disappearing and coming back stronger is also what I would like to use to motivate people who really feel like they've really disconnected from certain things that they had initially fallen in love with, and don't know how to get back into it. Because I remember in 2017, I was really on top of things. I was doing so much, and I found a power within me that I tapped into something that I never thought I had, right? And people were in awe. They were like, wow, you do so much, and yet you are a mom, you work, you do this, that, and the other. But I really found that I was in a very great space, right? So not to shine a bad light on people who will be going or have gone through the whole process of being makoti, but I also feel like just not having a dedicated space where I could sit down and create content really got to me, because they welcomed me, rightfully so. But I also want to take that experience and just make you realize how I reached a resolution that made me come back to sitting down and creating content. And one of the things is, you'll also realize from a directional point of view, is that on this channel I really love sit downs. So a person could be like, but you could go out and just create a day in the life vlogs or be out and about. But yes, I could do those things. However, I really prefer sit downs in comparison to being out with the camera and showing people what I do when I'm in the mall, or new activities that I've stumbled across, you know. So it's just one of those things. So I used that moment to filter quite a few things that I had experienced and what I was feeling, so that I could just, because I was really overwhelmed, and I used the opportunity to look at what are the reasons of such a things happening, what part did I have to play in it, and how do I then come back to a positive base camp and working towards progress, right? And I think there are 3 things that I've noted down, and I really didn't even want to miss a beat, right? So, you know, the time that being away from the YouTube streets helped me discern quite a lot of things, so that I'm able to either be better with what I do, whether it's the first, second time, third, fourth time around, and do better, just to sharpen the saw and open my mind to new perspectives and things. So I really also needed to learn to accept things that I have no control over, and focus on the things that I can control, and look for solutions in there. Because it's one thing being a negative person, but I really just wanted to find myself in the middle, where I could get positive solutions and a way forward. So right now I'm in the comfort of my home, and I love the environment that I'm in, because now I've got 100% control. Now that was the first step of saying you are in your space, and now you're able to regulate the environment so that you create content. So first excuse out the window, right? So I just wanted to share a few positives about disappearing. It will give you an opportunity to recalibrate and find a fresh point of reference. So for me, in this particular space, I was able to be like, okay, let me find my bearings, and then when I come through to the YouTube streets, I'm able to give like a different view, a different energy, and being able to supersede what I initially wanted to become of this channel, and then use the opportunity to ask why and work your way back gradually. So in most cases, not in most cases, so in this instance, like I've given you an example of me moving in with my in-laws, and I really want to choose the opportunity to use this opportunity to say I don't want to use to come across as a victim, right? So I think in this instance I'm actually realizing, why did people make a noise when I was sitting down? Sometimes people will not do things to spite you. It's because they saw an opportunity to possibly wash the dishes, and they're like, let me get these things out of the way, and then go about their merry way. So I think my part and my role, I needed to sit down with a few individuals and say, okay, I would like to record on Saturdays or Sundays a bit of 30, if you could please give me 30 to 45 minutes so that I can sit down and really just do whatever I need to do, and then we are okay. Because if you really want people to support you in your vision, you have to educate them. And I think I didn't take the time to educate them, because probably they might have thought that I'm just on the phone and not recording. So it's just one of those things that take the time out to meet somebody in the middle and make them understand your viewpoint, right? I also think that the opportunity is there for us not to be negative and people who are filled with negative energy, because at one moment, yes, we are all moody, or we've got bad days, but it's all about how we manage it. So if I was particularly going to sit in front of the camera in a very terrible state or negative or bad mood, I think people would pick it up, and that would then reach other people and spread and have far-reaching impact on people who watch me in the length of breadth and of South Africa and beyond, right? And that's not who I am, and that's not how I want people to receive me. So I really don't want to be this person with a wet blanket over my shoulders and spreading it all around for other people to feel, because a lot of people, or many people, really draw strength from others, and I don't want to really be that kind of energy, especially on platforms such as this, where I'm exposed, or people are exposed to me. A very large number of people are exposed to me, and they can take that and continue and then spread it to people who are close to them. So I really just thought, let me step away from YouTube and not make people feel some kind of way, because I really think my brand is about positive energy, and that's what I want to stand for. And I'm not saying, by no means am I saying we're not allowed to have bad days. Yes, we are, because we're human. You cut me, I bleed. And it's just one of those things that we also need to manage our own feelings, and how people receive us, and how, when they receive us, how they extend that to those in their circles. So the negatives about disappearing and coming back strong is that people might focus on the disappear part, right? And they might take it badly and assume that it's because of them. And there's this conversation about, do I disclaim that I'm about to disappear, or do I keep quiet and they'll just see when I come back? I think for people who are close to you, please do let them know that I'm going through something, because one of the things that I have been told is that I really come across as I've got things figured out, and then people do not know when and how to help me, because I'm an A-type personality, very pedantic. Sure, I've got checklists for days and approaches on how I would like things to be done in a certain way, in a certain time, at a certain time, and that leaves people feeling helpless in how they could reach out and help you. So they think you've got it okay. So the trick is not isolating yourself, but just being able to communicate that I'm going to be away for a little while. Don't take it badly. It's not about you, because sometimes it's really not about other people. It's about you working on yourself so that you come back a little bit better from where you were, right? And just be careful that you don't go off the face of the earth, because it's easy to then retract and then don't know where you come back. And the problem is, when you finally come back and people have gone on with their lives and you didn't care to tell them that, okay, I'm taking a break, how do they then welcome you back in? You know, because especially if you did it abruptly and you had a bad attitude when you were doing it, because deal with the problem and not people, because they were not the cause. Perhaps, you know, just don't really just start treating everyone in your network or in your circle badly, because when you are now okay, it might be very difficult to come back to these very people that you were treating quite badly. So that's just something that we need to take note of. So I just wanted to share top 12 things that would really come out of you going away, disappearing, and coming back stronger. So the first one is an opportunity to reflect and realize what are you going through and the steps to fix it, right? And then second one, seeing your dysfunctional behaviors. Yes, we're all not perfect, because in as much as we think that we are all good, for some people really pick up certain things that we are not aware of in ourselves, or bad habits or things that we do that might hurt other people in the process. Gaining a fresh perspective. Life is there for us to learn, you know, and when you take time to reflect on the things that have happened, you're able to then come back with a fresher outlook and be able to work on being stronger. Self-awareness of bad habits and behaviors. This goes hand in hand with the second point about seeing dysfunctional behaviors. You know, we're not saints, but also we need to try harder and harder to be the best versions of ourselves, and treating people the way that we would like to be treated. Treat situations and don't be irrational. Just take time to look at things and see what role you play in certain situations to make things happen the way that they are happening. You're able to trust in life and its processes. Humility, I think this has taught me quite a lot about just being humble and trusting the process. It's a learning curve, you know, and you're able to then not make everything about you. And you know, just, yeah, I don't even know how to explain it. Compassion and letting go. I could say a lot about it, but I've learned to let go of the times and opportunities that I missed to create videos, and kicking myself and being like, oh, I missed that opportunity, and A, B, C, and D. But when you let go, you open your heart and your mind to greater opportunities that you would never have thought of prior. You're able to take responsibility of your actions, and from there on, the only way is up, you know. 11, you trust yourself a little bit more, and you're able to kind of think clearly about certain things and the next steps. And then lastly is gratitude. I'm actually very grateful that I am here and where I am, and I'm able to control the situation 110%, you know. And hopefully I'm going to create a lot more content, because now I'm in an environment where I've actually learned to be quite open to my husband. And you would never say, I'm in the house with my 5-year-old who's generally very noisy on any given day, but he understands, you know, as much as possible that I'm sitting down, I'm in a room, and I'd like to create content, and he's okay, and he hasn't made noise. So these are the things that the steps that I've taken, really, or some of the things that I've taken to make sure that I disappear, sis, and come back a little bit stronger to the YouTube channel. And also, my time away has made me realize or come up with great ideas. So I'm working on features that would be very frequent on ThroughEllesEyes, and I really hope that you enjoy them. But I'm going to reveal them in the next couple of weeks, and I really hope that you give me ideas just to build on those specific features. And yeah, one of them is something that is aligned to who I am as a person, just in general, and how I like to elevate people, you know. Just that's a little clue. But anyway, I've reached the end of this particular video. I really hope that you enjoy it. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for those who haven't, and I hope that you look out for future videos that will come from ThroughEllesEyes. Enjoy. Love out.